Don't overvalue what you are not and undervalue what you are. Comparison has a remarkable way of distorting reality. It convinces us that everyone else has something we don't. More talent, more confidence, more success, more beauty, more opportunities. We become so focused on what we lack that we stop noticing everything we already possess. Without realizing it, we begin overvaluing what we are not while undervaluing everything we are. It is one of the quickest ways to become disconnected from your own worth, because the moment you define your value by someone else's strengths, you become blind to your own. Comparison is a distorted mirror. Comparison rarely tells the whole story. You compare your beginning to someone else's middle, your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, your insecurities to someone else's confidence. But you never see the full picture. You don't see their fears, their sacrifices, their failures, their doubts. You only see what is visible. And from that limited view, you begin creating an unfair measurement of your own life. Comparison isn't just inaccurate, it's incomplete. We tend to chase what we don't have. Human nature has a curious habit. We often assign greater value to what feels just out of reach: the promotion, the relationship, the recognition, the lifestyle, the talent someone else possesses. We convince ourselves that if we could only become more like them, we'd finally feel enough. But enoughness has never been found through imitation. It is discovered through acceptance. Your strength feels ordinary to you. One reason we undervalue ourselves is because we live with our gifts every day. The things that come naturally rarely feel extraordinary. The ability to encourage people, to solve problems, to make others laugh, to remain calm under pressure, to create, to lead, to listen. Because they feel effortless, we assume they aren't valuable. Meanwhile, someone else is wishing they had those exact qualities. Sometimes the gifts we overlook in ourselves are the ones the world appreciates most. Stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Imagine trying to measure distance with a thermometer. It would never work. Not because the thermometer is broken, because it was never designed for that purpose. We do something similar when we evaluate ourselves using someone else's gifts. If your value depends on becoming another person, you've chosen the wrong measuring tool. The goal was never to become someone else. The goal has always been to become more fully yourself. What makes you different is often your greatest strength. Many people spend years trying to hide the very qualities that make them unique. They soften their personality, silence their opinions, downplay their passions, blend in. They assume acceptance comes from becoming more like everyone else. In reality, the people who leave the greatest impact are rarely the ones who fit perfectly into the crowd. They're the ones who finally stopped apologizing for who they were. Confidence grows through appreciation. Confidence isn't built by pretending you have no weaknesses. It's built by recognizing that your strengths deserve just as much attention. We often spend years trying to improve our flaws. What if we invested equal energy into developing our gifts? Imagine how different life would feel if you became as familiar with your strengths as you are with your shortcomings. Confidence grows where appreciation lives. You can admire without diminishing yourself. There is nothing wrong with admiring someone else's success. Celebrate it. Learn from it. Be inspired by it. Just don't let admiration become self-rejection. Someone else's light does not make yours any dimmer. In fact, one candle has never lost its flame by lighting another. The world has room for more than one success story, including yours. Your value is not a competition. Worth isn't earned by outperforming everyone else. It isn't awarded to the smartest person, the richest, the funniest, the most successful. Human value has never been a competition. Every person brings something different to the world. Your contribution doesn't have to look like anyone else's to matter. Different is not less. It's simply different. Become more of who you already are. Growth doesn't require becoming someone new. It asks you to become more fully who you've always been. More courageous, more authentic, more compassionate, more confident. Not because you're changing your identity, because you're removing everything that has been hiding it. Your greatest potential has never lived inside another person's life. It has always lived inside your own. See yourself clearly. Imagine what would change if you spent less time wishing you were someone else and more time becoming the best version of yourself. You would stop chasing borrowed dreams. You would stop apologizing for your strengths. You would stop overlooking the qualities that make you valuable. Don't overvalue what you are not. Don't undervalue what you are. Because the person you're trying so hard to become may never be as remarkable as the person you are already becoming. Slay reflection. S. See your strengths. What qualities do you naturally possess that you tend to overlook because they come easily to you? L. Let go of comparison. Where have you been measuring yourself against someone else's journey instead of your own? A. Appreciate what you are. What is one strength you can intentionally acknowledge and develop this week? Y. Your next step. Choose one thing you admire about someone else, then identify a unique quality in yourself that deserves the same appreciation. Call to action. Join the conversation. I'd love to hear from you. What is one quality you've spent too much time overlooking in yourself? And how would your life change if you finally gave it the value it deserves? Share your story in the comments. Your perspective may remind someone else to see their own worth more clearly. And if you know someone who needs this reminder, send this to them. Sometimes all we need is a nudge. I'm Carrie Genzel, reading a blog from stateofslay.com. Slay on.